Look at verse 2. And the Lord was with Joseph. If the Lord was with Joseph, where was he when his brothers were showing so much hatred for him? When he was thrown inside a dry pit? When he was sold as a slave? Where is the Lord? You can see that our own definition is different. All the troubles that were happening to Joseph, God was intact inside his heart. You can see that he didn't attempt to avenge. And you know the end of the story, that later on, when his own brethren visited him, you know, if he wanted, he would have imprisoned all of them. But he still said, no, it is God who helped you to do what you did to me. So his heart retained God in the face of all these troubles. Said the Lord was with him. I am praying that no academic activities will take God out of your heart. No matter how busy you are, wherever you are, and whatever you may be doing, let the testimony be that, and the Lord is with you, and the Lord is with you, and the Lord is with you. You will now see the advantage of God's continuous companionship with a man. Verse 3 said, and his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all that he did to prosper in his hand. You can see the Lord was with Joseph, and it is not only Joseph who knew it in his heart that the Lord was with him. Even people, his master, knew that the Lord was with him. What is your testimony among your colleagues? Yes, I'm a Christian. That's all right. What do your colleagues say about you? Can they also confirm that this my roommate is a Christian? This colleague in the office is a Christian. Say his master also knew that the Lord is with this young man who is a slave in my house. And he knew that all the prosperity that was coming to his house was because of this man. He was living the life out. Living the life out. Now, this meeting will bring us into difficulties. But don't suffer as a criminal. Suffer as a righteous person. It is not because Joseph did anything wrong that we find him going through all these difficulties. Actually, Satan was persecuting the axe. We didn't see him blaming God. Actually, of recent, I'm beginning to feel that if the devil is beginning to get interested in your life, he has seen something godly inside you. That's why he wants to quench it. You know that Joseph is just one out of 12, isn't it? Why was the devil not worried about others? It is only this young man that has a dream that Satan is interested. Your desire to serve God, your desire to make results for God, your desire to make exploits for him is going to multiply enemies for us. But let the testimony always be that the Lord is with you, the Lord is with you, the Lord is with you. And let it be known even outside. And we saw that even the temptation of abundance, verse 6, didn't make Joseph blunt. Did you see that? Because in that compound, everything was in his hand. Only Potiphar's wife was kept away from him, but every other thing was in his hand. For some of us, it is abundance that will make you blunt. When God begins to open provisions for you, then you will start stepping into things that you never did before. You will start drinking. You will start going to parties. You will start misbehaving. Sometimes it is poverty that kept you that you look like a Christian. It's true. Once they try you with abundance, you just show another color. For Joseph, suffering didn't change him. Abundance didn't change him. That's the kind of axe that God will use in this end time. Don't only be a Christian because you are poor. Let it be that even when God comes with abundance, you will still remain a very correct, sharp axe. Then when he overcame the temptation of abundance, something else happened. Verse 7. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph and said, lie with me. You know, this kind of language, even harlots don't do it. No harlot will just see you on the road and say, come and lie with me. No. No. It doesn't happen. It will take appeals. She tried first method of just casting. You know, when the Bible says she casting eyes is different from looking at somebody. Casting of eyes had to do with the eyes of immorality. You know, eyes don't talk, but they talk. When you are looking at an enemy, your eyes will show him that there is danger. And yet, when you are casting eyes of immorality, it shows. So, the Bible didn't say the woman was looking at Joseph, it said she was casting eyes on Joseph. Can any lady help us do that here? When you are looking at somebody lustfully, there's a way you'll be turning your eyes. They'll be going, somebody's confirming, say yes. Anywhere, you know, Joseph was a slave, but anywhere Joseph was going, whether to go and wash bathroom, she'll be casting the eyes. If Joseph was going to swim, she'll be casting the eyes. If Joseph, what Joseph was, she'll be casting the eye. When Joseph couldn't respond, she now opened her mouth and said, come! If you don't understand casting, come! You know, all of that, it is because Joseph had a dream. And he said, let's kill him. So even though Satan has now passed from his brothers, Satan is still Satan. The same Satan who was working his brothers is now working in this woman's life. They said, I didn't catch you from the hands of your brothers, I will catch you from the hands of this woman. Come and lie with me. Let's see this young man again. Can you say verse 8? But Joseph refused. Is it like that in your Bible? You see, you are God's battle axe, but you must preserve your sharpness. If you allow this axe to get blunt, God may discard you because it will be too difficult to work with you. Say, Joseph refused. Now let me tell you something. When verse 8 said Joseph refused, it was not only refusing illegal sex. Are you understanding? He was refusing a host of other provisions in that house. You know, if he had agreed, he will eat the best food in that house. He will wear the best clothes in that house. This woman will continue defending him before Pharaoh, isn't it? But now he said, I will not. So again, hatred increased. An axe that God must use should be ready. You are not going to have it easy. Those of you who are our sisters, there may be many other girls in the class, but because Satan has seen your dream, your lecturer will just fail your exam for you and say, if you don't go out with me, I will see how you will graduate. And some of you have spent more than the necessary years for your course. You are still there. The man has vowed, say, over my dead body. What is your sin? It's because you have a dream. That's all. Any day you agree, you will pass with first class. But you will lose God. So even here, verse 8 said, but Joseph refused and said unto his master's wife, behold, my master, was it not what is with me in the house? And he has committed all that he has to my hand. There is none greater in this house than I. Neither has he kept back anything from me, but thee, because thou art his wife. Now look at his question. How then can I do this great what? You know, your first point of failure is that many of you don't call sin the correct name. Some of you call sin enjoyment. If you call anything enjoyment, you may want to test it. How did he call sin? Say this great wickedness. Once you have identified something that is wicked, you won't even want to test it. Say, how can I do this great wickedness and sin? Not even just against your husband, but against God. Did you see it? That's a young man, 17 years old. How can I? Do you ever ask yourself, how can I be practicing immorality? How can I that Jesus died for? How can I that Jesus shed his blood for? How can I that Jesus delivered again fall into sin like this? How can I? This young man was just 17 years, but you know, we read that he hated evil from the beginning. And he has continued to grow with that hatred of evil in his own heart. Remember, there is no pastor preaching to him. Oh. He's just alone there. But he knew that God is here. There were no Christian conferences like this for Joseph, yet he lived a Christian. Many of you have read wonderful books, attended serious conferences where God spoke and great things happened. How will you then go back and begin to serve sin? Joseph said, how can I? My sisters, if a young man come with the eyes of immorality, just ask yourself, how can I? And you'll be delivered. Joseph said something. You don't see sin and keep quiet. Young girl, you are passing, and a young man just came and touched you and said, Kai, God did extra good work on your buttocks. So. And then you keep quiet. No! How can I? You know, Satan normally palpates first. He will come and do you some interview. Sometimes by touching you. Do you understand? To see whether you will react or not. If you touch him and say, no, me at the go church. Oh. The young man will say he is a pastor himself. As sin was coming, Joseph reminded himself, how can I? See what God did for me. See what God did for me. See what God did me. He delivered me from the hatred of my brothers. He took me out of the pit. He brought me into this place. How can I? I want to tell you that if you forget what God has done for you, sin will be very easy for you to commit. Verse 10 said, and he hearkened. No, he didn't stop at that first attack. Oh. Verse 10 said, when that first time, or come and lie with me, Joseph didn't respond, then she made it her daily duty. She did it day after day. We don't know how many days. So if you see young boys talking to you here and here, you are passing, that one is saying, another one is saying, another one is saying, don't say, God, why did you make me beautiful? People are worrying me. There are some people more beautiful for you than you, and they are saying, how can I? Oh, if you are beautifully created, ask yourself, and ask the devil, how can God make me so wonderful, and I will come and be wasting my life? You think sin is only for the ugly? How can I? And Satan felt that if I didn't get this person at the first attempt, let me keep trying. So she was doing it day after day. Did you see verse 10? Day after day, day after day, day after day. And Joseph didn't say, Kai, you have worried me too much. Let me try small. You know, that is the testimony of some of you. So when he came first time, I refused. Then he went again and came the following week, and I refused. And then he has been coming and been coming, nine. She did it day after day. But look at Joseph's response. And he hearkened not unto her. Are you not serving the same God? Temptations may surround you like he did to this young man. But the Bible says he hearkened not unto her. Did he stop at that level? Verse 11. And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business. And there was none of the men of the house there with him. Excuse me, sometimes the devil arranges conducive atmosphere for sin for you. There will be no witness. No pastor, no roommate, no lecturer, nothing. It will just be you and Satan. And then you will look here and say, even if I do it, nobody will know. Even in that condition, Joseph said, how can I? Because you see, if you are a child of God, no pastor will leave his own duty and be following you anywhere you are going. You will be going with God. It is only God that is omnipresent. He will be following you everywhere. But another man cannot do it. And I saw this young man very conscious of the presence of God. Let me give you a small those of you who are falling into fornication, you have been Christians, and then you backslid and went and fell into sin. The day you are going to fall into sin, did you ask that boy, say, let's read one Bible passage and pray before we do it? In fact, that day you didn't want to see Bible. If there was light in the room that made you to see Bible in the table, you went and put out the light and pushed the Bible under the table. Anytime you want to commit sin, you make sure that God is far from you. But we see, as for Joseph, there was continuous presence of the Lord. The Lord was with him. 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 That was his continuous experience. So there was nobody in the house. Now, if you are only a Christian when there are witnesses, then you are not yet a Christian. Oh, if I do this, my mother will know. Oh, if I do this, my father will know. Oh, if I do this, my pastor will know. And that is why you are afraid of sin. You are not yet a Christian. This particular day, everything was set for sin. So there was nobody at home. So if they did it, even the husband of this woman will not know. Isn't it? But Joseph knew that there is an unseen eye and a quiet ear. The eyes were watching two of them, the ears were listening to their discussion. So even in the presence of nobody, there were three witnesses: the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Excuse me, when you appear to be alone, you are not alone. There are three witnesses there. When casting of eyes and uttering of words couldn't work, something happened again. They went to another level. Verse 11 and 12. Came to pass about the same time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there within, and she caught him. A woman wanted to rape a man. If Joseph's heart was weak already, he said, okay, I didn't go for her. She's the one that looked for me. And he will tell God, God, you are my witness. You know I've been resisting. You know I've been resisting. I know I've been resisting. It will not be the woman pushing him down. He will push down himself. Many of you say they raped me, they raped me. What effort did you do that that thing was against your will? You no shout. You didn't do anything. You submitted. I hope you are seeing the growing degree of attack on Joseph because of the dream. Sometimes it is not even because you are too beautiful, but because you have a dream. Boys are happy when 3 girls are fighting over their head. Is it because you are very handsome? But you have a dream that is a trouble to Satan, and he wants to quench it by all means. He sent this girl, she didn't succeed. He sent another one, didn't succeed. He sent another. So you see them clashing and fighting to quench that dream. You know, they say, let's kill him and see what will happen to the dream. That was the point of the battle. So when she caught him by his garment, saying, lie with me. Whether you like it or not, lie with me. So what did Joseph do? I want you to look at your Bibles over verse 12. And he left his garment in her hand and fled and got him out. How much have you resisted sin? Some of you, ordinary text message will finish you. Hello, darling. Who told you you are darling? When the devil wants to finish you, he gives you wonderful names. Say, because I didn't see you yesterday, I couldn't understand my lectures. Are you his lecturer? All of those, there is